Feeling well? There you go. Oh, lovely. Hey, that was very nice. That was very nice. Thank you for that. And thank you so much for being here and joining us. Man, we are having a lot of fun today. Our next guest in just a few short moments here to talk about the Royals. I got the great Alex Park in the house. How do you feel? With you, front row. So that's the exact response I expected. So thank you for that. She'll be out here in a second. It's going to be a lot of fun. She'll be sitting right here in this chair. Joining her on stage, host and moderator today, good friend of ours at Build from Huffington Post, Cole Delbick's back. Make some noise for Cole. I love Cole. I think he's great. There you go. That's good. Does a fantastic job. So they're going to have a lot of fun, which in turn means we will as well. So they'll talk for a little, and then we'll turn it over to you guys for audience Q&A. I've got a feeling front row will have a question or two. Yes, is that a fair assumption? Okay, so we'll look for that. We'll also be looking for questions from our friends out there on the internet. Hello, world. How you doing? So nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Listen, I know the front row is going to occupy a lot of those questions, but I can make room for you too. Okay? All you got to do is tweet at us and make it a good one. Hit us up at BuildSeriesNYC. Press the button that says submit a question on it. Do one, do both. Doesn't make a difference. Just make the question great, and we will ask it for you. Okay? We're going to watch a quick clip, trailer, promo thing for the show, and then we're going to get her out here, and we will do this. But before we go any further, you know the drill. She can hear you. One more time. Y'all excited for Alex Park? Let her know. Yes. Perfect. I'm actually applauding for you. That was beautiful. Thank you for that. Let's go ahead and run that clip.
This was always Robert's destiny. You and I were always the spares.
I'm going to ruin your little coronation tomorrow.
He's manipulating you, and you're either too vain or stupid to notice.
I want to be with you for the rest of time, and that's exactly what I intend to do.
I'm a king. You bow.
It's time.
Ooh. All right, guys, it is that time. Put your hands together, make some noise, and welcome your host and moderator, Cole Delbick, and today's guest, the one, the only, Alex Park.
I want a girl with
Keep it going for Alex.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So I've watched the show for so long, I think I've convinced myself that you're actually a part of the royal family. So I don't know whether a bow or curtsy, or I can call you princess if you like.
All of the above would be great. Yes, very good. Would be awesome. No, thank you.
And we're so lucky to have you here today, the day of the announcement that the Royals is going to be back for a season 4.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so excited. It's crazy. I can't believe it.
What was your reaction when you heard the news?
Well, we actually were told on Sunday, and I don't know if I'm supposed to reveal that, but well, no, yes, and I cried a little bit. We were at Mark Schwann's house, the creator of the show, and he tricked us with a little game, and we thought we were doing some social media kind of pops that he was filming, which was a lie. And it was his way of telling us that we're picked up for season 4. So, yeah, we've had to keep it sort of tight-lipped until since then, and very excited to share it with everyone.
Yeah, now we can celebrate.
Yeah.
So you've played a princess for nearly 3 seasons now, and I'm curious, if you had the choice to wake up tomorrow morning and be an actual princess in the royal family, would you do it?
I would not, no.
Why not?
Well, I mean, I just think, I have, the best of both worlds, being that I get to play a princess in my job, which I love, but then I get to take the costumes off and go back to being a slob, which is Alex, and wear jeans and sit around and not have to worry about the world and all of those things. I just, so no thanks, pass. And I couldn't be an actor or do, all the other things that I like to do if I was actually a princess.
Well, as we see on the series, the life of a royal has many high highs and some low lows. Every season, you guys just ratchet up the crazy, and you've been delivering so hard this season. So for the uninitiated, could you give us a quick breakdown? What's the Royals, and what can we expect with the season finale airing Sunday?
Okay, well, basically, what is the Royals? Like, just
little intro.
Nutshell.
Who are you? What are we doing here?
Okay, so the Royals is we're a fictional royal family, based surrounding a corrupt monarchy with a lot of drama and scandal. But I guess the root of our show and what we make is a story about a family and people in, exceptional circumstances in a heightened reality. And that's what we make. That's what we love to make. That's what we hope you like to watch. And I loved season 3. I thought it was our strongest season, very character driven and relationship based, and a lot of drama, obviously, with Prince Robert returning from the dead. A lot of the second half of the series was based around that, learning who he is, because obviously we never met him before, and then now seeing him now that he's been back from the island. And the season finale is my favorite episode. It's a huge episode. It's directed by Mark Schwahn, our creator. And, we get to, I'm wearing a huge princess gown for once, which is quite rare for Eleanor, and a tiara, which was pointy but fun. We have with the coronation, a lot is revealed about Robert and who he really is. The love triangle continues with Liam and Catherine and Robert, and there'll be a few moments there, I'll tell you, and possibly with Jasper and Eleanor as well, and the Queen. And so it's basically going to leave you on a massive cliffhanger, as we like to do. So we like to go out with a bang, and that's what we've done. So it's pretty big. I hope you like it.
I think we can't wait. And you mentioned Mark Schwahn, and I've been such a fan since One Tree Hill. So for those who don't know, he also created One Tree Hill, and I think this series has a lot of similar sensibilities. So for those not watching yet who love One Tree Hill, get on board because this is so good. So has it been like working with him?
It's been amazing. I mean, yeah, absolutely. You say you love One Tree Hill. I mean, Mark is a veteran. He absolutely knows what he's doing. That show ran for 9 seasons, and I think they did something like 23 episodes per season. And it was a huge success, for a lot of reasons. But Mark has a very clever and unique way of coming up with characters that, are addictive for audience. Relationships that you want to follow, and I guess that's a gift that he has, and what he's done is kind of bring that to the Royals as well. So yeah, Mark takes his shows and what he's doing incredibly seriously, and he's got a very personal relationship with like every department, and I mean like wardrobe and costume, they all have to run everything by Mark, be it like an eyeshadow color for me, or and that's when you've got a showrunner who loves his show and he's very protective of it, and I guess that's a credit to him and is reflective in his success. So we're incredibly lucky to have him.
No, it absolutely shines through. Any chance we get some One Tree Hill stars on the Royals anytime soon? I know James Lafferty directed, right?
Yes, James Lafferty. He directed two episodes last season, but I don't know whether or not he'll come on the show. Maybe you just never know who comes in to the Royals. We would love to have a One Tree Hill star. That'd be great. Long way to come to London.
Yeah. So let's get into Eleanor's life. So last episode, we saw a real tense moment between her and Jasper. They've been through so much, a breakup, sex tape, blackmail, and, and more. And
you list it.
But the fans have taken a real liking to this relationship. But we left them in a little bit of a precarious position in the last episode where Elinor has kind of drawn a line in the sand and said, I'm done. Yeah. Any hope for a reconciliation, maybe?
I mean, I think, with Jasper and Eleanor, I see people nodding here, it's like if you've been watching the show over the past few years, it's like this cat and mouse kind of game that the two of them play, I think is part of the appeal, and I think there's always hope for Jasper and Eleanor. I think right now she's pretty heartbroken and she's accepted, finally, I think it took a few episodes for her to finally accept that her heart has been broken again, and she's gotten to the point where she doesn't really want to hear what he has to say, and because it makes her feel weak, or so she's taking control, and she's got this offer to go and do something else, and that makes her feel good. So she's kind of putting her foot down and saying, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to be hurt anymore. But Jasper always finds his way of weaseling his way back in. It's like, he was sent out of the palace, but he's still there. It's like, so you're just gonna have to wait and see.
And you two have such incredible chemistry, and I love seeing you both on social media. And it seems like there's a real shared love between you two. And I think you lived together, right, at some point.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Tom is. We did for a little bit. I was like homeless in LA for a minute after season 2, and Tom was coming out to LA, so we had a place together for a few months, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, he's my best friend, and we just sort of clicked since the very beginning of the show. And yeah, I'm very grateful for Tom, and thank you for saying that about our chemistry. You know,
No,
we just get along, and have to kind of take, if we have serious scenes, we like take a little minute, go around the side, and just get into like serious mode because we joke around a lot. So yeah, don't look at me until we're doing the scene and things like that. So I'm very grateful to have Tom.
But I also feel like that connection exists for the rest of the cast. I mean, I feel like we're living in the best of times that Elizabeth Hurley is playing the Queen of England on TV. Like, I still have to pinch myself. That is the best thing I could imagine. So what is it like to act alongside her? You two have such great scenes together. And aside from the physical similarity, both of you can decimate someone with like a single word.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, working with Elizabeth it's been a few years now, and it's never not going to be surreal to me because you just kind of stop and I'm like in the scene. I'm like, damn, I forget. I'm like, it's Elizabeth Hurley. Like, I watched Elizabeth Hurley growing up as a kid. I'm sure we all did. And, it's just, it's insane. She's so talented and funny and down to earth. And she drives the ship of this show. And she doesn't take herself too seriously, but she works incredibly hard and she looks after us, and she's a lot of fun. Like, particularly, she's looked after me being brand new into this world and coming into this show with her. She's been very, very generous in, with her advice and her, acting, everything. She just gives, and yeah, she's the best. She's also hilarious.
And so not like the mother we see on screen sometimes, because she can be really cutting with you, especially.
Oh yeah, no, she can be. And I mean, there are some scenes where she'll be really mean to Eleanor and like, we'll like do a take. She's like, baby girl, I'm sorry. Like still now, because it's like she can, she can really turn on the mean quite, yeah, fiercely. So yeah, but she's not like that in real life at all. She's a teddy bear.
And so we mentioned earlier the reveal that Robert is back, and the series pilot began with his death and sort of prompting you and Liam to be possibly next in line for the throne. So let's talk about how his return has really shaken up the series.
Well, I mean, I guess Robert's return was kind of like the root of the whole of season 3, because it basically changed everything. Where we thought we were going as a family and as a monarchy is completely just like break and shift gear, because Robert's back, and he was the heir to the throne. And I mean, there's this massive, like, complex dynamic between Liam and Robert, which I guess will reach its peak at the finale. And I forgot the question. That's what I do. I was on a tangent.
I know. Just how is it shaking up, and especially your character in the last episode had that testimonial about why he deserved to be king.
Sorry, I get excited in my brain. I'm just like, well, I think Robert's return has shaken things up for Eleanor, because, Robert and Eleanor were very close. They were closer than Eleanor and Liam were, but we never saw them together. So we started at the beginning of the series, and Eleanor and Liam, created this bond over the death of their brother, and but then Robert comes back, and he's kind of this father figure in a way to Eleanor, and but then seeing the dynamic between her two brothers is tricky and creates sort of a separation between Liam and Eleanor. So it's really shaking things up for her, for sure, in a good way and a bad way, and that will be revealed in the finale.
Yeah, there's something up with Robert. I don't know. I know Liam's investigating the island, and there's a helmet involved, but I think there's more to that story, and I don't fully trust him, because I have a dream that the end of the series will end with your coronation as queen.
What? Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's great. I agree. But sadly, I don't think that that's going to happen this season. But we're going to do season 4, so you just never know, right?
There are some people in line before you, but
Never mind about them.
I always remember the pilot, and there's that great scene you share with your father. I think you're high eating the prime minister's pie or something, and he says that he sees a lot of himself in you. And I thought that created this dynamic that, people always underestimate your character a little bit, and she's more fiercer and kind of this force of nature that you shouldn't, completely ignore. She's in there.
Well, yeah, no, I agree, and I think me playing Eleanor, throughout the writing of the 3 seasons, we do see that growth in her. But I think, as well as, what everyone else sees, it's kind of what she believes. And I think Eleanor, she had a really tough time getting along with her mother, and she was very lost in the beginning of this story that we're telling, and behaving badly and self-destructing and all those kind of nice, juicy things we like to watch. But I feel like now, she's having little drips and drabs of encouragement through her mother, who she's building a much stronger relationship with now, and getting the message from her father on the watch that he left her, and Robert returning back, and all these little moments that kind of mean the world to Eleanor, which kind of encourage her to steer away from doing drugs and feeling like she's useless. And I think, that all leads to her decision to possibly leave and go and do something else. So, yeah, it's a pretty wonderful character to play.
It is, and I feel like we're a bit in the midst of a resurgence of interest in the royals, the family in general. The anniversary of Princess Diana's death is coming up. This whole Meghan Markle thing, the crown. What do you think is behind, particularly the American culture's fascination with the royal family?
Well, I think, relating it to our show, because I guess, it's very different to the crown and the actual royals and things like that. But I think the fascination lies with, this idea of escapism and fun and, mysticalness and just magic. There's so much heaviness that goes on in the world that we see every day in the papers and the news, and we make a story about a royal family, and it's a fantasy, and you can escape. And we've all grown up as children fantasizing about royal princesses and princes and queens, and so what's not to love? It's drama, it's family, it's love, and they're real people, but they get to dress really cool and have a lot of juicy things go on and pretend that they're royal. And I think, maybe that's why escapism, I guess.
Do we have any sense of how the actual royal family has reacted to the show? I know some of the cast has met members of the royal family.
William's met like all of them. A few. It's classic William. He's just, oh yeah, I met the Queen. Yeah, this is no big deal. But I have not met any of them. Being Australian, why would I have met them? But I don't know. I like to think that maybe, I have this image in my mind that they might sit around like secretly with like an iPad and watch it, like for fun. We're not making a mockery of anything. We're making good television and drama, and it's it's nice. It's fun. It's like, it's exciting. And like, I'm sure they got a lot, larger things that they need to take care of. But, that's my kind of imagination, that they might sit around secretly and like watch it on an iPad. And no, I didn't. Why would I watch that? But like, they secretly did and love it.
No, yeah, like the Queen curls up with the corgis after a long day.
Maybe not the Queen.
And it's just like,
that would be fantastic. But, girl can dream, right?
And I find it to be particularly funny how the show pokes fun at Americans. I remember in the last episode, Cyrus had that dig about the 2016 presidential election, and the show has so many outrageous plots, but more and more so, it seems like, are they outrageous given the current political climate?
Well, that's it, right?
So
like little digs, but how far are we digging? Or are we just, imitating life?
Yeah, and I feel like more and more so there's this sort of political commentary and undercurrent there that, we're tuning in for the deception and the lies and the gowns, but there's actually this kernel of truth about political life and how it affects, the citizenry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that's kind of the magic of the writers and the magic of Mark Schwahn, in that he likes to have that balance of, fantasy and make believe, but also a little bit of quite a bit of real as well, weaved into this web that we're weaving, yeah, it is kind of reflective of what's going on in the world. There's a lot going on right now, and we like to explore all the popular things that are happening, and just that's what he likes to do, and little jabs that are pulled off by Jake, in a huge situation like he was. I mean, he pulls it off. I don't know how we pull it off. Do we pull it off?
You do, definitely. And before we go to audience Q&A, I would love if you could tease the season finale a bit. I know everyone's on edge to find out how this all resolves, but any little spoilers you can give us?
I mean, I don't want to get in trouble because I feel like I do sometimes. I know Mark's watching probably right now, but it's the best episode of the season. It will leave you in shock, wanting more, and thankfully you're going to get more.
Yes.
It's a huge ensemble episode with all the cast. You'll probably be a little freaked out, maybe shed a tear and laugh, and which is what we kind of aim for with all the episodes. So that's all I'll say.
Okay, well, we can't wait. So we have a few questions from the audience.
Hi, Alex.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm waiting to watch with my mom and my sister. We love the Royals.
Thank you.
You did a wonderful job for walking in a winter wonderland. And you did. And I was wondering, how long did it take for you, and Tom to learn the choreography? And do you have any, funny behind-the-scenes stories? Did he try to drop you or anything?
Oh yeah. Well, thank you very much. That was one of my favorite episodes to shoot for sure. When I read that, I was so excited. It was like my musical moment was coming true, because it's all I wanted to do when I was in school was be in the musicals. But they just put me in the back. And I'd be like, Mom, hey. And this was my moment. But then, when we actually, Tom and I got to the rehearsal for this dance number, we were a little freaked out, because we thought maybe we'd just kind of be waltzing around the palace and doing, gestures here and there. We didn't know there'd be 30 professional dancers and Britney Spears as choreographer. And me and Tom were just but it took about, I think we had maybe 2 or 3 half days to learn the whole sequence. And it was intense. We were very bruised. But it was so much fun. And to shoot the whole sequence, we had 1 day and a lot of people. It was very warm, but it was very fun chaos.
Next question.
Hey,
hi, Alex. This is Lily Callie, and I came out from DC to see you. I have a question from a lot of people who are wondering, for you personally, that so many young women are looking up to you and are looking to Elinor and are being inspired. How is that making you feel compared to, I guess, before the show started, and now that everybody is really getting inspired by everything you're doing?
Oh, that's so sweet. I actually nearly had a little tear here. I'm not even kidding. That's very kind. Thank you. I mean, that's that was, people would ask me a question similar to that in the very beginning, and I would always say the same response, which is that that's the best thing about it, is to be able to, bring this character to life, someone who I love so dearly, and to see that, young women look up to her in a way that she's strong and she's powerful. She's who she is. She has flaws. She falls down. She makes a lot of mess, but she gets back up and tries again. On that path to figuring out who she is. I mean, to me, to be able to play that character is, that's just the best character you could ever play. And it means the world that, maybe I'm delivering that to other people to see and, just play that. Thank you so much.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I was wondering, when you were initially working on your character, did any other, models inspire you, any of the other, any royals or any fictional characters?
Yeah, not really. I guess, I'd have to say that Ellen is kind of like a standalone girl, standalone character. And I guess, my inspiration for her in the beginning kind of just came from a combination of, wonderfully complicated women that I've met in my life and, that I've seen and have witnessed and learned things from. She's just created from things that I've come across and writing as well. But no one in particular, no direct sort of inspiration there.
One more?
Hello. So we met Sarah Alice this season, and we are absolutely in love with her, almost as in love with you. So,
well done on the almost.
Almost.
She always tries to steal my thunder. Heavy.
Over or under. So, without pulling a William, is Sarah Alice going to save the day?
Pulling a William, I love that. That's called
I know, we have a new phrase.
Hashtag.
Is she going to save the day? Ha! Clever question. One that I can't really answer, but I think we all want her to. I mean, Miley Locke, who plays Sarah Alice, is just absolutely magical. I mean, she's so talented and she brings this energy to the set. She's so smart, and I mean, she knows all of our lines as well as her own, and yeah, she may save the day. I feel like she may. Yeah, she's fantastic to have. I can't give it away, but we're very, very grateful to have. But you only got a couple of days, you know. You'll see. We're very, very lucky to have Miley. She's adorable.
Well, before we let you go, can you remind everyone where they can find that answer and catch the Royals?
Yes, so you can find all your answers and catch the season finale of season 3 of The Royals this Sunday on E! 10/9 Central?
Yes.
I mean, you know, depending on where you are, just look it up. It's this Sunday, though. You got to tune in. It's my favorite episode. I'm very proud to be a part of it, and thank you all. I hope you like it.
Thanks so much for coming. Let's give it up.